learning about projection. We've got an object here and we have a piece of paper. This is a piece of paper that I modeled. It's the actual size of a real piece of paper. And we have an object, and my objective here, what I'm trying to do is to draw this object in its actual size on the piece of paper. And SketchUp just makes it easy to demonstrate the concept of what's going on here when you do that, because you're hearing words like parallel projection and orthographic, and they're big words, but there's nothing to them really. So what goes on is with parallel projection is that you're just taking all of these points that are important to the drawing that you need to know where they are, and you're projecting them onto the piece of paper using parallel lines. So that can be easily done in SketchUp with the tape measure tool and construction lines. So there's that construction line. There's another construction line. And you can see in SketchUp, it draws in perspective. So we did a couple of perspective drawings, and when you look at these construction lines, you can see them. They meet at the horizon. They touch at the horizon. So I could go all the way around this and make all of those construction lines, and you would see what happens, but I've already made them, and I'm just going to unhide them, and we'll see that we have all the different points of that object. Okay, so they're projected onto the piece of paper using parallel lines. And now what I have to do, if I get my line tool, I can actually join them up and I can create that object. So if I'm careful to hopefully get intersections of everything, it kind of looks like one that's down, over, down, and this line would actually go straight back to there and up to here. So that is the outline of that object in its actual size on the piece of paper. And if you find yourself saying, wait a minute, the lines are in perspective, so they get smaller the further you go back, it's actually just it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of proportion, because if you were to move that piece of paper back, you would see the piece of paper getting smaller and smaller and smaller all the time as well. So you can imagine that it's actually the same effect no matter where you put the piece of paper, because the piece of paper is in a perspective view too. Now there's two lines that we haven't added here, because we have this long piece sticking out the front here, and to add them, we'll just grab the line tool and we'll get on that intersection. We'll get on the red axis and go there, and it wants to keep drawing, so I'll just hit the L again, get onto that and go down to there. And I would say now, guys, you have the actual, that line doesn't look as thick. Oh, because that's an inside line. SketchUp does that with its styles, but you have the actual size of that object drawn on a piece of paper.